Throughout the entire Trump administration, one of the hallmarks, right, one of the customs really it seemed to be happening, was that members of that administration would routinely violate the Hatch Act. And the Hatch Act, of course, forbade anybody working within that administration from engaging in partisan politics. They could go out there and advocate for, of course, the policies of the administration. They were not allowed to attack political opponents, to trash anybody. But of course, we saw it happen all the time. Kellyanne Conway was one of the worst offenders out there. In fact, to the point where the Office of Special Counsel had to tell Donald Trump, we recommend that you fire her because she can't stop violating this law. We saw violations, a couple of them, I think, during the Obama administration. We saw a lot of them during the Bush administration. Nothing ever happened to anybody because the Hatch Act is relatively toothless. But there is something interesting about the Hatch Act. It has a sister statute, a felony statute, that says that any candidate who interferes with legislative proceedings in any kind or interferes in any way in the duties of elected officials can be prosecuted for a felony that carries a prison sentence of up to 3 years in jail. And it is that little notice provision that legal experts are now saying we might be able to get Donald Trump using that provision of the Hatch Act, the felony part, right? The criminal part of the Hatch Act. Here's what they tell us. According to law, in the United States, a person running for president is still a candidate beyond Election Day. They are still considered to be a candidate under the laws of the United States until January 6th, when the electoral votes are officially certified by Congress. At that point, they are no longer considered a candidate. But anything they do between Election Day and the vote counting on January 6th is considered the actions of a candidate. Therefore, Donald Trump's actions by calling Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and interfering with official legislative business in the state of Georgia would likely fit under that criminal provision of the Hatch Act. The other members of his administration, Mark Meadows comes to mind, reaching out to lawmakers, not just in Congress, but all over the country, telling them ways that they could send alternate slates of electors. Seems pretty obvious that that would also fall under the criminal provisions of the Hatch Act. And again, the prison sentence is up to 3 years in jail. And I know all of us would love to see Donald Trump carted off in handcuffs, spend the rest of his life in prison. 3 years, heck, that's nothing, right? Up to 3 years, like that's the maximum. The guy would likely serve 1 year, still get out in time to start running for president in 2024. So, is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it because we know that we're obviously not going to get any kind of real prosecutions of this guy ever for anything, so we got to take what we can get. But of course, it is up to this administration, the Biden administration, if they want to go that route. And to that I say, what are you waiting for? You have that little notice provision of the Hatch Act sitting right there ready for you to use. You've got about as much evidence as you could possibly want. Not even with Trump, by the way. I mean, just if you want to go after Mark Meadows, kind of send a shot across the bow there. You've got it. The tools are at your disposal. And I think it's high time that you started using them. One of today's video sponsors is Magic Spoon Cereal. If you want to enjoy those wonderful cereals that you loved as a kid without the guilt, then Magic Spoon is perfect for you. Magic Spoon has 0 grams of sugar, with the exception of the honey nut flavor because it does contain real honey. There are 13 to 14 grams of protein and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving and only 140 calories per serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low-carb. And you can build your own box. Available flavors to build your very own custom bundle include cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cookies and cream, maple waffle, blueberry, cinnamon, plus the newly reformulated Honey Nut flavor that will now be added to Magic Spoon's permanent collection. And remember, Honey Nut is the only flavor that contains sugar, but that's because they use real honey in the recipe. You can also mix and match the flavors when they arrive. I'm a huge fan of mixing the cocoa and the frosted flavors. Tastes just like a chocolate cake, so it makes the perfect late night snack. So go to magicspoon.com/ROF to grab a custom bundle of cereal and start your day or your evening just right. And be sure to use our promo code ROF at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/ROF and use the code ROF to save $5 off your order.